What's up, guys? I'm gonna get started in 1 minute. I'm trying to ban somebody from my Discord. Spammer. Hi. Good morning, everybody. Yesterday, FOMC. Not the best one. Pretty boring, if you ask me. Usually that first half hour. Yeah, Brad. Always. I mean, if people are spamming like that, you should. Most Discords have a report spam spot, which is funny because I don't ever trade. Like, how many times do you see me trade Tesla? But yesterday, FOMC, our straddle didn't work. We still made money. We just went 1%. We just never went 1% down. I did average down the puts when we went 1% up because previous ones we did hit both sides. So it was, those puts were only 0.1. It was actually decent risk to reward because those puts, if we did end up going down, those puts would have went in the money and that would have been bank. But we just went up. The slow melt up. The first, we made a good 2% move to the upside. So it wasn't that horrible, but um but it is what it is. They don't really work out on the put side, but the call side made money overall. Just a couple dollar win. But glad it's over. FOM seems pretty fun. So let's go ahead and our Germany CPI year over year, I think they went up. Germany CPI 7.5, estimated 7.4, previous 7.6, so it went down. Their CPI went down, but it was estimated to go down even more. So Germany should be worse than that. They'd probably be the worst one because they depend on Russia for everything. Earnings, we had Meta, I guess, missed. Didn't really look into anybody else's, but it seemed like everyone went down. I think LRCX went up. This morning we have Pfizer. MasterCard just came out. Didn't read it. Southwest. Tonight's the big one. the big daddy: Apple, Amazon, Roku, Intel, X. Apple, Amazon are weighted very high on SPY. Who's calling me? Okay, someone just called me. Apple and Amazon are very heavy weighted on SPY. If you do want to play, I play QQQ, if anything. So Mark, where you could actually sell after hours and take that quick spike. But it seems like no matter what happens today, data, our GDP, which if it's down, if our GDP is down, technically we're in a recession, but the White House is trying to change the definition of a recession. So not sure how that's going to work. And we have our jobless claims, which Powell did say, job claims are going to be high up on their watch. Definitely, if the next CPI data that comes out is going to be the biggest one. If we aren't peaked, this market is going to be in shambles. So that should be the next fun one. But let's go ahead and get back into our. Well, yesterday all I said, what was the two? I gave two key levels yesterday. I gave Amazon 118. We did take this call, was very slow, but that beautiful test of 118 broke above, kind of gave us a little bounce, bounce. Held over, held pre-market highs. Also held yesterday's highs. I'm starting to keep this up on my chart. Is you just go to the strat previous candles, highs and lows, and that gives you pretty good indicator. You can do week, month, day. You can do whatever time frame. Sometimes hour works good. You see where the last hour. So we broke below the last hour. Sometimes we like to break below it, test it, and continue down. Pretty good indicator just for what it is. And like last week's high, that's where we bounced. Rejected it there, continue down. So I gave you that Amazon, and then I was watching the video over 162 or 172. You can tell it was a previous resistance here, resistance there, support there. Even goes back to a support and resistance. And then there's your break, flag down, flag down, broke up. Pretty good. Let's go ahead. We're gonna do it. ES. Oh, let me pop up on. Too much going on. I always got too much going on. Our key watches for today, 7/28, Thursday. Our key watch is going to be our FOMC range. Okay. Our buyer is going to accept these lows where we rocketed yesterday. Or are we able to get past those highs? Data. I'm going to keep that up. Yes. Our FOMC. So we got FOMC low was 39.68. High was 40.40. Let's say 40.40. So I already have that high marked up for that. There. Template. So, yeah. So if it was a squeeze and whatnot, basically did all the buyers come in here? You know, let's see the volume profile. The volume profile shows you very well on what it is. So you can tell volume came in here, no volume in the middle, and then volume came in here. So is this going to be more buying or more selling here? This is what you need to know. And the color really doesn't tell you buying or selling, because volume doesn't tell you buying or selling. So our, if we do get, definitely watch it overnight low for basically 4,000. If we break below 4,000, we definitely could see this area of high volume. Let's see if buyers want to buy in again. If not, we're just going to continue down and whatnot. I have right here our fib from this swing low to our high right here. See if we're able to retrace 0.5. So like I was showing Brad, is when you look at off our previous swing. So we got up, down, up, down, up. Previous swing high to swing low. Let's do it backwards. Right here to right here. Where did we retrace? That beautiful 0.5. There's a swing high. There's a swing low. Where did we retrace? Basically that 0.5. But overall, pretty nice. NQ did a nice, I have a lot of marks on this chart, but you can tell this previous triangle breakout, a beautiful breakout, came down, retested it here, and continued up. We still have this chunk of volume to get past. It's going to be pretty hard. That's how we've rejected it once, rejected it twice. So higher time frame, we need to keep here. So higher time frame, I'd watch here and see if we start making higher lows. And then you can, boom, you see three, shorts here, shorts created here, maybe possible test here. And that's where our short squeeze is going to come if it does develop like this. So NQ, I need to erase a bunch of this. I'm starting to get a little clustered. I ain't gonna get down there for a while. So NQ. Bunch of NQ. What 12,680 FOMC low is 12.4. High 12,680. I was in a voice chat and told him to go long at the bottom yesterday. And we made some good money. That's the main thing you guys know. Bigger on that. VIX. Still waiting for the explosion on VIX. Still waiting. We're still trending down. We had a little uptrend here yesterday. On FOMC, but you can tell there's a little downtrend. Bigger picture. We almost got there. Apple. Just look. Just gonna start going back to basics a lot. Apple on the monthly, very strong monthly candle. Does have earnings tonight. Very strong monthly candle. Weekly, 4 green weeks in a row. Three-day. Two-day is outside. So we have a daily. Daily zone here. Where we did, there's a consolidation down, gap up, broke structure here. My dog's trying to get in my room. I don't like it. He's just gonna come in here and poop. Apple. So we have 152 demand. Supply, we have that 159.44 supply, which is higher time frame. I believe it's technically we are in a weekly doji, but that was our rejection here. Nice rejection already from that. But we are in this daily rally drop. Here's we had this one that we already rejected from. There's our rejection that we took our Apple swings last week. So we're looking for it to come up to hit this one and reject. You have a lot of volume right here. AMD showed this yesterday. I think Brad, I think you took this. Yeah, he just comes in here. So my dog's 16. He's been blind for probably 4 years. And when you're blind and super old, he kind of just does what he does, man. That dog has lived a freaking life, man. Lived a life. Lived a good life so far. So we just let him do what he does. But this is one of the rooms that are carpeted, so he likes to come in and rub his face and then squat right in front of me. So I don't know if he knows I'm there or not, but oh well. AMD. This is just a beautiful technical flag. Look at this. Consolidate down, consolidate down, consolidate down. Pushed. Same thing with kind of Amazon, you had your previous day high. Previous day high, what it do? It held that previous day high. That could be a 3% move to the upside, which is a beautiful flag breakdown. Let's go and look. Let's go ahead and look at the end of the month's coming up too. The end of the month's tomorrow. That's gonna be very interesting too. AMD overall monthly, not compared to Apple, not strong. Still got that gap fill above. Oops, let me erase it. I don't like how it lets you do that. Gap above. We have still watching that 100 psych level, and right here our our weekly supply where we sold off. We sold off pretty well here. Daily can be hard with these. Do get a pullback. Let's see. This one did not break structure, but did gap up. So possibly not the strongest one. 87 demand. I'd like to see us come down to this one. That's the one I'm definitely looking for. But the main thing is to watch is like, see how I had that one demand here. See how we pushed up from it. We came down, touched it here, and continued up. That's what I'm kind of watching here. Are we going to come down and touch this one, and then continue up, break that trend line? Or are we going to do it here? Come up, reject this gap again, have a little sell-off, and then come back up. Our trend is up. We are making higher lows, so always keep that in the back of your head. We are making higher lows. Are we going to have a higher high here? Amazon, dark pool, 230 million came in right before close on the 26th on Tuesday. They made pretty good money. So Amazon, we had, well, let's just go back on the monthly. Inside on the month, which is very interesting. Amazon seems pretty strong. Weekly, we are inside on the week. Very interesting. That would have been crazy if we came on a weekly and touched that. If you look at that on a weekly, just watching, like, if you guys just zoom out, I may not have erased this thing 100 freaking times. I don't know why it keeps popping up on my chart. But sometimes just look out on your chart. Look at this. This is called balance, non-trending. Once we break above this basically box, we start trending. So we're starting to trend. Are we going to start our sideways action here? We came down, touched it, kind of retested it and whatnot. Where were we? Amazon. previous triangle breakout, just like QQQ. There's your breakout. There's your retest. So we're going to create a new high. This pivot here. Well, let's see if this lines up. Watching that big downtrend. I mainly trade supply and demand, but I'm starting to add in key levels. Trends. I do a lot on futures. I do a lot of trends like this, trend line breaks. Amazon pretty strong. Does have earnings after, so it kind of sucks because it's gonna ruin everything. But we had there's our easiest way to find supply is you're looking for a doji, a long wiki candle. The last long wiki candle, that's your selling pressure. That's where selling is coming in. And look at that sell off. So this is where we should have really taken Amazon swings on the 22nd. Look at that, beautiful. That's where I told you to get in, Brad. Man, Brad, I'm giving you some good plays, and I'm not even taking. But when we check supply, we usually create new supply. So we have our push up on the daily that we dropped down. We actually came up and tested a little bit there and then gapped down. Let's kind of go down to lower time frames and just investigate this. We're gonna pause here on Amazon and go to ES. I'm already gonna trade some futures off this. We do have the GP, GDP, and then jobless claims. If you guys are watching and not subscribed, I appreciate it big time if you guys subscribe. That's how crazy it's acting. First initial moves up. GDP minus 0.9 rate. Minus 0.9, expected 0.4. So technically we are in a recession. Jobs claims are worse, so jobs are still getting worse. I am short. There's our. Let's just start trailing stop because we are at our FOMC lows. I'm gonna stop to get hit. So get a $105 profit right there. Oh yeah, that is overnight low. We are above the initial. That's crazy. Bounced off overnight lows. Wait. Wait, we went up though. So it says GDP minus 0.9% versus minus 1.6 previous. So our GDP actually went up. So no recession. Right? Actual 0.9% previous minus 1.6%. So it was worse than estimated, but we did go up. Someone's wait, Algo's about to remember that bad news is good news. And there we go. So GDP did go up from previous years. If you look at the graph, we did go up, which even though it is negative, it can be negative as long as it increases. As long as we're a recession is 2 quarters in a row. So I'll show you on the graph. Sorry, the red mark, I accidentally did that. But here's our GDP quarter to quarter. So negative, negative. We did enter a recession here with COVID. We increased because we printed a ton of money. Minus, increase, increase, down, increase, down. So we were possibly, if we were going down from here, we would hit another recession like we did with COVID, but we did increase. So we are not in a recession, but whatever. They're downplayed it anyways. So let's go ahead and go back to Amazon. We're still down overall. Let's head to Google. Google, beautiful. Um, so Javier, I'll show you what I'm looking at on Google with our supply and demand. So you always want to, look at the big picture. So I'll just go through Google overall. Monthly. Obviously, I don't like supply and demands on monthly. I mean, this one kind of shows you a supply right here, but it's from, it's 11-point supply. So, I'll start breaking it down to where actually our consolidation is on this. And you can tell where's our consolidation on this right here. So I kind of break it down even there. And then, sometimes I like to break it down even into 4-hour. Where's our real big sell off here? I turn off extended because I don't like it most of the time. Where we, and then if you really want to break it down even more, we have kind of a supply up here where we did base for a good day. We dropped. It's really zoomed out. It looks a lot better when it's not zoomed out that much. So there we go. Pre-split. Yeah, see, breaking news. Even New York Times says your U.S. economy shrank in second quarter. And the economy shrank, but it's quarter to quarter. That's the big thing with the recession. ES turned green. So that's the big thing, quarter to quarter. So if you want to break this down into 2-hour, we're looking at this last. There's that. Look at that beautiful sell-off. We based here, and then we had a huge sell-off. So, we have one supply here, one supply there. Looking at what on the monthly was the original one. See how that monthly kind of broke down into that. The initial monthly's down here. But what I'm looking at Google right now is So I'm starting to look at Google. We did reject one of our supplies. You can tell, looking at all that consolidation. So you're trying to figure out where this consolidation, where the initial sell-off came in from this consolidation. Came in from these candles. You could tell with that push up, and then they started, they loaded up their calls and pushed it straight down. Sometimes I like to pop up on extended. You can tell right here, especially on the extended, I can move it up here, 2 hour. This is the believe it's the Snapchat news right here. Some kind of news where we had a decent sell off. So what I always, especially with, earnings, big moves, data, and whatnot, you're watching this. They sold off, in 2 hours, they sold off Google 4%. Okay, that's big. That's big. Like, people are, whales and whatnot are selling off there. So what I'm really watching is what happens when we get back to that price. Are there going to be initial sell orders? Because they did sell, they did sell. You could even break it down even farther. Look at that. They sold off in a 10-minute candle. Like, it probably was a 5-minute candle. 5 minutes, they sold off. You think they had enough liquidity to sell off? No. So they're going to still have some orders up here. I'm going back and forth on some on Twitter. Really, just text. All right, let's just go ahead and finish up. Like I said, the definition of recession is 2 declining quarters in a row. Quarter to quarter. Just because we're negative doesn't mean we're declining from the previous quarter. So, so say you have a bowl full of fruit, if every quarter we're taking away fruit, two quarters in a row, we're in a recession. But this quarter we added fruit because our GDP got better. People on Twitter, I don't know why I even bother. So yeah, back to supply and demand. You just gotta. There's a lot of things that go into supply and demand, but you can tell right here. Our initial. I love kind of news based. If we'll go to Meta next because I'm not really going to be looking at Google. Meta, you can tell here. Even if you pop up your volume profile, you can tell here's our base. Look at this sideways action right here. Sellers came in strong. So, if Meta does come back up to here, I'm looking for a sell off again. Meta's pretty decent to look at. Right here, look, we sell off pretty strong. You can tell buyers came in, we're able to gap it up, overnight. Strong. Look at that, strong. We come back down, look at that, we wicked in it. Pushed it back up. To go to this one, just because that day was weird, we had to go to the extended hours. You tell buyers came in, pushed the price up pretty well, and then they retouched it, and then look at that huge push up. What do we do when we get back down there? We push up again. Is that weird how that works? Look, and then we have another sell off and then another strong push up. Let's go ahead and move our demand here because when we hit demand, we create new demand. That's why triangles form. Non-trending days, balanced market. That's why you see usually on trending days where we're just going up, I usually don't play a lot because we don't have any pullbacks into a demand I want. We just go straight up. That's where I start doing key levels, like right here, key level 178. That's where what I got to call over that. But right here, our demand. Look, we had that strong sell-off on. This guy's still going back and forth with me. He's like sending me the graph. I'm like, yeah, but from the previous quarter, GDP rose. Last quarter was minus 0.16%, and this quarter was minus 0.9%. GDP went up quarter to quarter. But back to Meta. Meta, you can tell, look at this beautiful sold off. going into earnings. Not sure why, but look at earnings. Here's our look at from this demand, price went up. I mean, price went up crazy high, 18%. Look, we came back down. We touched it here. Of course, this happened overnight, which sucks. Beautiful, beautiful push up. So we created new demand right here. So if we're able, if the market looks, the market wants to trend high, move up, I'd go here. But the problem with this one that is different from previous ones, we did bounce, but look at our bounce. Our bounce was not strong. We did not break our previous high. That's also something I do look at. So we need to break, like this one right here. This is a strong one. It just gives you more conviction. Here, we, might have not broken it, but barely did. We did break it here. Double top, I consider it a pretty strong bounce. This one's just showing a weak bounce. Look at that weak bounce. Sold off. So that kind of doesn't give me the best conviction. I could still take a play off of it, but I'd be, not looking for a big move. Because what I like to show is, you need to make a new high, a higher high there. If we popped up here and then came down to this zone, that's where I would look to have a decent bounce. No, I'm not even going to send a pre-market list out today. Let's just go ahead and finish up so I could go ahead and whatnot. Microsoft. Decent move here. Tell this is just like something, just like I was just explaining right here. We'd have a push up. Look at that, decent sell off, sideways sell off. So you have a drop, base drop. We came up into the zone, but we did not break previous lows. Okay, so that would kind of be, you tell we kind of didn't have the strongest rejection out of there. This guy's still going at me on Twitter. A preceding quarter means that from the previous quarter. That means economic GDP from the previous quarter. Yeah, from the. A preceding quarter means from the previous quarter. That means economic GDP from the previous quarter. Yeah, the previous. I'm gonna fucking do a calculator on this motherfucker. But sorry, I'm getting really distracted today. I'm gonna go ahead and end here. I'm kind of distracted on this guy, so appreciate you guys. Good luck today. You know, kind of go in open-minded today. That's the main thing today. We do have our data. We have no more data during the day, which is good. We just have federal manufacturing, and then tomorrow we have our personal stuff, and then the University of Michigan sentiment. But you know, FOMC's over. Tomorrow's the last day of the month. Appreciate you guys.